Okay, guys. Okay, fine. So last session we discussed about. I give the summary. In the summary, last session we discussed about arrays and types of arrays, and we discussed about string. What is string? And string has the things like string buffer and string builder and string manipulations. String manipulations. String manipulations. So these are the things we discussed in the last session. These are the things we discussed in the last session. Okay, fine, very good. So from today onwards, we'll start the oops. So basically, oops, I can categorize into two parts. First one is the oops part 1, and second one is the oops part 2. Second one is the oops part 2. In the part 1, so what are actually the topics are available? Here we will learn like class and object and types of variables, and we learned about types of methods, and we learned about types of constructors. Okay, and then here we learned about keywords, this keyword, and I can say super keyword. Next, access specifiers. Okay, and in the O part 2 we will discuss about the four principles: encapsulation, and I could say encapsulation, encapsulation, and next we have inheritance, and we have abstraction, and we have the polymorphism. Polymorphism. So these are the things we will discuss. Okay. Okay, fine, very good. Now today let's go ahead with so generally programming language is divided into two parts. So like the programming language is divided into two parts. What are the two parts? One is pop language and the second one is OOP language. One is pop language and the second one is OOP language. Second one is OOP language. What does it mean by pop language and what does it mean by OOP language meaning? So like in the old days, they can develop the projects by using the pop language. Pop language. So in pop language, we can develop the project in pop language. We can develop the project. We can develop the project by using functions and by using functions. We can develop the project by using functions. Using functions. Okay, in that, if you want to add more functionalities, if you want more functions, more functionalities, more fu more functionalities, then you can write more functions. You can write more functions. Okay, if the project contain more function, if project contain more functions, contain more functions, it is difficult to do. It is difficult to manage, and it is difficult to manage the project. manage the project. Manage the project. Okay, fine. Next point is, so if you develop the project by using the pop language, the data is globally exposed. The data is globally exposed, meaning there is no security. There is no these are the some disadvantages. If you go with the pop language, these are the some disadvantages. There is no security. If the code is exposed globally, meaning then outside people also can able to access. If the outside people can able to access, then there is no issue. When the issue will come, when outside people, when there is no issue, when outside people can manipulate the data, at the time the issue will come, right? So if you go with the pop approach, there is no security. There is no security. The data is globally exposed and there is no security. So these are the some disadvantages if you go with the pop language. What are the disadvantages? These are below are the disadvantages. Disadvantages. And it is taking uh, it is taking more time also. It is taking it will take more time also. Okay, these are the some disadvantages if you go with the pop language. Okay, so after pop language we have the OOP language. OOP language meaning object oriented programming language. Oriented programming language, you can say programming system. So if you want to develop a project by using OOP language, if you want to develop a project by using OOP language. Okay, we will write classes and methods. We will write classes and methods. We will write classes and methods. And if you go with the OOP approach, here the data is not global. These all the drawbacks you can overcome by using OOP language. These all the drawbacks you can overcome by using the OOP language. These all the drawbacks you can overcome by using OOP language. By using OOP language. Okay. So here in OOP language, in OOP language, the data we can manage by using objects. The data we can manage by using objects. And here what are the advantage with the OOP language is, so the data is security. Here our code is security, meaning outside people also not able to access. Okay, so our data is not globally exposed. Our data is not globally exposed. Why? Because everything we are mentioning in the format of object, and that they are mentioning as the access specifier as the private. Our data is not globally exposed. Okay, so these are the some advantage with OOP language. OOP language. Here I can mention as advantages. Okay, okay, fine. Next. Next. So with the notepad, like how you can develop the projects. Next title is how we can develop the projects. So the projects we can develop by using generally by using notepad. And the second one is notepad meaning editors. This we can say editors. Notepad, anything, notepad plus plus, the editors. And second one is the IDEs. So in the real-time projects, so everyone they can develop the projects by using the IDs only. IDs only. Why the IDs? What are the we'll try to understand few points about it. So if you go with the editor's approach, meaning notepad approach, so what might be the disadvantages? So here, what are the disadvantages? Generally, it will take more time to develop the projects. To develop the projects. So if you take the more time, then obviously it will increase the time to develop the projects. Time to develop the project. So if it is increasing the time, meaning obviously it will increase the cost also. Obviously it will increase the cost also. For example, there 100 employees will be there, and you have to pay salary for all 100 employees. If you go with the ID notepad, so it will take lot of time. It will take lot of time. And here in notepad, everything you have to type manually. There is no auto suggestions. There is no auto suggestions. And by with the help of notepad, we cannot able to do debugging. Okay, with the help of notepads, we cannot do debugging. These are the some drawbacks. If you go with the notepad, it will take more time, and so obviously it will take more time. There is no auto sessions, and we cannot able to debug. We cannot do the debug. So that is the reason all the IT companies will use the IDs. IDs. What does it mean by IDs? What does it mean by IDs? Integrated Development Environment. Integrated uh, Development Environment. So in market there are multiple way. There are multiple IDs actually. How you can look for that IDs? There we have the one website, that is edit config. Edit config. This is the website. You can go through that website, and in that go down, down. Go down. So these all are the IDs, guys. These are the IDs currently we are using in the market, like Visual Studio, WebStorm, and based on the projects we will use the IDs. Visual Studio, KText Editor, GitLab, JD Text Editor, and Eclipse. Next, NetBeans. Okay, so TextPad, IntelliJ. So these are the IDs actually. These are the IDs. Okay, so what are the advantages with the IDs? What are the development environment? This one. So what are the advantages with the IDs generally? So we can develop the projects with less time. We can develop the projects with within less time. So compared to Notepad, it will take less time, right? So next advantage with the IDE is, these are the advantages. Next advantage with the IDE is it will give the auto suggestions. It will give auto suggestions. Like in Eclipse, like if you look for the control space bar, then it will give the suggestions. Control space bar. Then it obviously it will give the suggestions. Next, it will give the suggestions, and we can do we can do debugging. We can do debugging. We can do debugging by using the IDs. By using the IDs. Then how you can download the IDs? You can download any ID, guys. So for Java, like you can download Eclipse and Visual Studio, and next IntelliJ. So these three IDs you can download anything. Okay, you should be familiar with these three IDs. These three IDs. So if these three IDs we will use regularly. Okay, you should be familiar with these three IDs. Normally, I will tell you like how to download Eclipse ID and all. So, so the Eclipse ID you can download 2019 version. Why? Because so after this one you might be uh, work with the AIM also. So you can download a 2019 version of Eclipse. So that is the better thing. Look for Eclipse 2019 download. Eclipse. If I look for the download, let me do some other 2019. Normally, you can download, which is normally I can go to that website and then look for. In my case, this is my system configuration, so you can download. Okay, if you click on Windows 64, so it will be download to your local, and which is in the format of zip that you can extract, and then you can double click on the ID, then ID will open. ID will open. Okay, only a few steps. Go to the Chrome and click on the Windows. It will be downloaded to local, which is in the format of zip. You can extract that one, and inside where actually you have Eclipse IDE and have tools. Okay, inside there you can find out the symbol, Eclipse symbol. If you click on the Eclipse, so you can get like this. So if you go inside Eclipse, so you will get like this. Simply click on that, then you can your ID will open. Your ID will open. So like that, there actually can create the project and the can do that one. So I can go ahead with uh, class and object. These are the IDs, guys. So for the backend people, mostly they would like to prefer work with the Eclipse, IntelliJ, Eclipse and IntelliJ. Visual Studio also both we can use for front end and backend. Both we can use. All our IDs we can use. So most of the people, the front end people, they would like to work with the VS, and backend team, they would like to work with the Eclipse and ID. Eclipse and but in Visual Studio actually we can able to. So in Eclipse, actually, in Eclipse, so these are the IDs actually. Next, next question is, okay, ID setup is done. Next, what you will do? The topic, the class, the first topic is class and object. Class and object. Okay, we'll go ahead with one by one. What does it mean by class? What does it mean by class? So the first point, we'll try to understand few points about the class. Class, class is a model. Model or plan. Next point is class is a blueprint. Class is a blueprint. Class is a blueprint. Next, blueprint meaning class is just imagination. For example, if you want to construct a building, so without planning, will you directly able to construct the building? You need one plan, right? In that plan, like how much stairs you want to construct, like two stair, you want two stair, three stair, four stair, five stair, which stair you want. You should have the imagination, right? That imagination things you can write in the class. You can write in the class. So class is just imagination only, and class is a model. or you can say plan, and class is the blueprint. Class is the blueprint. Next one is, I would say, for class is the keyword, right? Class is the keyword. So we discussed about where actually keywords in that class is the keyword, and which is used to create the class. Create the class. How you can create syntax? Is there any syntax? Yes, we have the syntax. What is the syntax? I'll show you. Access specifier, class, keyword, and demo. This class name is anything. Why? Because this is the imagination only, right? So this is the imagination. This is not exist physically. This is the imagination. The class name according to the your imagination can give demo. Okay, so Java programs is now nothing but, so whatever the imaginations, whatever the problems you are facing currently, so that based on that you can write the programs. Based on that you can write the programs. Okay, fine. Next point is class which does not exist physically, which does not exist physical. This is just imagination only. Physically, which does not exist physically. Next point is, so class code will be stored. Class code will be stored in the method area. Stored in the method area. These are the few points you should be remember, guys. Class is the modular plan. Class is a blueprint. Class is a keyword which is used to create the class, and class which does not exist physically, and class code will be stored in the method area. Class code will be stored in the method area. Okay, fine, very good. Next, what does it mean by object? Object meaning any real-time entity, any real world entity, any real world entity is called object. So whatever the things you are seeing with your eyes, whatever the things you are touching with your eyes, so all the objects in the earth, you can say examples for the objects. All are objects only. Like so here you have the fan, table, bottle, and so these all we can say objects. These all we can say objects. Okay. So objects, for next point is, for once class is created, once class is created, once class is created, we can create number of objects. We can create number of objects. Here important point is, without classes we cannot create objects. Okay, so for creating objects, classes are mandatory. Without the classes we cannot create the objects. Okay, fine. Next point is, for create, how we can create the object, we can use the new keyword. For creating object, we can use new keyword. Okay, what is the syntax for the object creation? Syntax for the object creation. Normally, access a specifier, class, keyword, and I would like to demo scope of the class. And here actually, this is the class, and if you want to create the object, how you can create? You can create the object by using new keyword. New and class name. Object got created. Where object got created? inside the heap memory. So the next point is object creation meaning object object creation meaning JVM will allocate the memory to the JVM JVM will allocate the memory allocating the memory. Okay. Okay. Object creation meaning JVM will allocate the memory and objects will be created at runtime at a JVM runtime. JVM runtime. Okay, fine. So object is created. This object again, I will store one reference variable and this reference variable data type is demo. Reference variable data type is the demo. Okay. Okay, fine. Now can come here. So objects will be created at a JVM runtime. Next point is objects will be stored. Objects will be stored in where? Heap memory. In heap memory. Guys, in the JVM architecture, we discussed about the memory sections. I hope everyone you remember the diagram. Whatever the terminology I am using here, all the terms the terminals are belong to JVM architecture, heap memory. Objects will be stored in the heap memory. Objects will be stored in the heap memory. Objects will be stored in the heap memory. Next point with respect to objects. Objects exist physically. Objects exist physically. Okay, this imagination we can make the one object and this object which is exist physically, which will exist physically. Okay, this is a few points about the class and object, guys. Any real-time entity is called object, and once class is created we can create number of objects. Without the classes we cannot create objects. And for creating object we can use new object, new keyword. Object creation meaning JVM allocating the memory. And the objects will be created in the JVM runtime and the object will be stored in the heap memory. Okay, so we have the garbage collector. What the garbage collector it will do? So garbage collector, so I would say JVM or the JVM will do. So garbage collector, garbage collector. So garbage collector, what it will do, which is used to remove the unused objects. For example, there is a project. There we create a number of objects, and if any object is unused, then we have the garbage collector. Garbage collector, which will available in the JVM, and then what it will do? It will identify the unused objects, and then it will remove automatically. It will remove automatically. It will remove automatically. Okay, and here the next point is so as a programmer don't have any control on programmers don't have any control on garbage collector. Garbage collector, this is actually internal process of it, so we don't have any control on the garbage collector. So it will identify the unused words and then it will remove automatically. So these are the few points which is all about a class and object, guys. These are the few points which is all about a class and object. So after that we have the concept that is the types of variables. Types of variables. So as of now you guys know only the variables. What does it mean by variable? Variables meaning which are variables are the container which are used to store the values. Store the values. So at the basic sessions, we don't discuss about the types of variables. Why? Because so at the time you don't have a maturity to understand about the types of variables. Okay, so without knowing about the object, you might be confused. So at the time, at the basic sessions, you don't have a such maturity to understand the types of variables. Now we'll go ahead with the types of variables. Types of variables. Generally, the types of variables in Java we have the three types. First one is instance variables. Second one is static variables, and third one is local variables. Local variables. So here, instance variables are also called as global variables, and next non-static variables. Non-static variables. Non-static variables. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Very good. We can go ahead with one by one. Instance variables. We can go ahead with one by one. First one is the first point. We'll go ahead with one by one. The variables. The variables which are declared. The variables which are declared inside the class. Inside the class and outside the method. Outside the method. Methods. You can say constructors is called instance variables. Is called instance variables. Instance variables. Instance variables can be accessed in any method. Can access by any method. Any method. So that is the reason. That is the reason we are calling. We are calling. We are calling instance variables are called instance variables are also called global variables or global variables global variables. Okay, next point. Next point, also called as global variables. Next point. So what is the syntax for the instance variables? I told you like the public class, the class name is demo, and from here to here this is the scope of the class. And what I said here, the variables which are declared inside the class and outside the method is called instance variables. There actually we normally will take the public static void main and main method, right? And from here to here this is the scope of the class. Okay, so here what I mentioned in the first statement, what I wrote here, the variables which are declared inside the class and outside the method is called instance method. Now you can come here. So this is the inside class, very good. And int age, the age equal to some 20 or 30 like that. This is called instance variables. Instance variables. The variables which are declared inside the class and outside the method is called instance variables. Next name equal to, for example, if I mention like this, so this is also called as instance variable. Instance variable. Okay. Okay, fine. Next point. Next point is initialization of initialization of instance variables. Initialization of instance variables is optional. So if you can observe here, I initialize the value. This is a mandatory. No, this is optional. This is optional. Initialization is optional. Initialization is optional. Okay, next point. Instance variables also called as object level variables. Variables. Object level variables. Object level variables. Okay, we can access, or we can say we can invoke, or we can call using objects only. Okay, we can access meaning, for example. So this is the program where actually here int age equal to some 30, 40, 31. If I want to print this instance variable, then how we can access by using the object only. You can use it object only. Initializing the instance variables meaning we are assigning the value. Initializing the instance variable meaning we are assigning the value. We are assigning the value. Initializing the instance variable meaning we are allocating the memory. We are allocating the memory in the JVM. Memory in the JVM. Next point is there you can assume there we have the two types of variables. If we create two instance variables, then the JVM will allocate two times memory. Two times memory. Two times memory. Two times memory. That I will take one example and then I will show you. You can get the better clarity on it. I'm today onwards I'm going with the IDE. You can download the IDE and then you can go ahead with the IDE. Yes, once you download your IDE, you should create your project. How you can create the project? Go to the file option and go to the new Java project. Click on Java project. You can mention the any name. So, for example, here I mention some test project, and then go to the next. Only 2-3 steps is enough to create the project, and click on finish. Then your project, the Java project, will be created. So see, Java project is created. In that you can create, so where actually our Java files will write under the SRC. There we have the shortcuts control N. Directly you can get the widget like this, or you can go ahead with another also, that actually click on this, right click on this SRC and then go to new and then go to the any package, and then here I would like to mention some oops programs. Oops programs. Base 1 minute guys. One call is coming. Very important. 1 minute guys. Hello.
Yeah, hello, hello, Ishan. Tell me. Hi. Yeah, 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 technology. Yeah, it's okay, no problem. Yeah. Okay. Day after tomorrow, right? Yeah, it is a totally completely virtual, right? Yeah, yeah, that's what. Virtual in the sense, the level 1 and level 2 rounds I'm talking about. Yeah, yeah, it's okay. I'm just not confirming. Yeah, it's okay. Day after tomorrow means 19th, right? Yeah. Yeah, okay, I'm ready with any time, like, it is a 30 minutes interview. Yeah, okay. So the slots are 10 to 10:30. Okay, okay. So make sure that 10:30 is okay. Yeah, 10:30. Yeah. Sure, sure. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, that's what. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye. Bye.